stimulus our economy needs is new businesses to establish, new businesses to set up, new businesses to get going, to invest and employ. And it will be the small businesses, the startups, the insurgents, the entrepreneurs that actually bring that about. But actually I think there's something great about an organisation like Fredericks that goes into different areas and is then established locally and is using the tax break that we put in the budget to lend to new businesses. And not just to lend them money, but to give them advice and support along the way. We are a very business-friendly part of the world. We're looking forward to seeing you lending money, getting businesses going, and firing up the engines of our private sector. So, as someone who's celebrating both a 1st and a 10th birthday today, very, very best wishes with everything you're going to do. Thank you very much indeed.
Very skilled staff, it's true. We have a very supportive board, and we have an enormous volunteer base. Many of you are here today volunteer for us in a number of different ways. We are immensely grateful for that. We actually sat down and tried to put a value on that per hub just last week. And thought, well, we're taking up a lot of these people's time for our loan allowance, for advisory boards, for mentoring, all these different ways that people help us, free office space and so on. And we think for every 30 or 40,000 we put in is matched one-to-one, maybe more than one-to-one. I think we probably undervalued you. And without that we couldn't work the model, we couldn't make it happen. So we are immensely grateful. Well, of course, is what today is about too. So thank you so much for whatever you do for us. We know you're doing it because you like us and you like Paul, but I know that really you're doing it for our clients and to give people a chance who wouldn't otherwise get one. There's a time for sycophancy, and I think this is probably it after 10 years. We are here because of the vision and determination and non-stop energy of Paul. Without that, we wouldn't be here at all. And we just want to pay tribute to Paul and to Jane. My wife's got a fridge magnet that says, behind every successful man there's a surprised woman. I don't know if Jane is here, but she does work tirelessly for us and takes no credit whatsoever for doing it. And we thought it would be just a good time just to pay tribute to them for all that they've achieved, for the almost 900 businesses they've helped create over the last 10 years, the amount of people they put off benefits and for driving us forward in the future too. And we have a little thank you for you all. I didn't do it myself, I can only do stick figures, but that's good. Thank you very much indeed.
If we're going to get out of this recession, as my mate David was pointing out, it's not going to come from big companies. I did some research to see how many big companies are still here after, say, since 1900. And there's only 2 of the American. One was Ford, and the other was Exxon, Standard Oil. And so I looked at the FTSE. The FTSE was launched in January 1984. How many companies do you think are still there? Yes. It's a bit more than that actually, it's 21. But in the last 30 years, now those biggest companies, that means they're all falling by the wayside. So, I'm sure they paid themselves big bonuses as they went down. But small companies are where the dynamism exists, and that's why I'm really keen to help and promote small companies.
As you can imagine, I've been on all sorts of walks of life. So I ended up thinking about working for myself, because being out of Swindon to suddenly coming back in Swindon well from the houses being built up fast, and still basically everybody had rubbish everywhere. There were skips everywhere. So I thought about a business idea, and I thought of the company set up called Absolute Rubbish. I thought it was just straight to the point. And started so set up a company called Absolute Rubbish, and a little slogan saying, we collect absolutely all sorts of rubbish. So I made a business plan, and I was on job seekers allowance, so I got pointed in the direction of Prince's Trust. And I don't know why, but I got knocked back 4 or 5 times. So out of my own sort of research, I just put into Google funding for businesses, and Fredericks Foundation popped up. If it wasn't for Fredericks, we wouldn't be here today, because obviously been in the army, been in prison, come out of prison, got made redundant 2 times in a row, was on job seekers allowance, got refused by the banks, couldn't get funding, obviously prison background. So where would I be today? Anybody tell me? Because there would have been no other way of funding. So Fredericks gave me a good start off, and it's an ongoing, any help I need, it's only a phone call away.
Well, what I want you all to do is focus on this candidate, because I think what I'm going to show you tells you a lot about who Fredericks are as a company. So can you focus on the candle? And we have to think together and make the candle go out. Some people aren't focusing. Come on, concentrate. No. What's the moral of the story? What's the moral of the story? No good thinking about it. At the end of the day, someone has to get off their bottom and do something. My story is quite a dull one. I was a 50% owner in a reasonably successful recruitment company with a multi-millionaire backer who was a great guy. But obviously I wouldn't be here if he was a great guy. So he got involved in the demise of the football club. At the end of the day, I wasn't a great investment. So I went to Fredericks and they lent me £4 grand. And I started a business from the front room of a fairly modest 1-bedroom place, having previously lived in a fairly impressive place in 20 acres of wooded land. In my first year from home, I traded 84,000 against a target of 48, about 180% target. What Fredericks do, and this is really why I should give them some money, is they help people get up after us. Which isn't always as easy to do as you might imagine.
I think I met quite a lot of you last year when I was basking in the glory of having completed a successful trek and secure in the knowledge that I would never do it again. Somehow after Fredericks Foundation Day and learning that we actually raised £80,000 and seeing what the money was spent on, I thought if we can do it again then we really should. So we're setting up another trek for this September, 23rd of September, and we've still got some places left, and we thought what better place than to try and find some recruits than here. We're going back to Namibia. Why Namibia? Because it's such a stunningly beautiful country, because we have an amazing ground crew there who organise everything for us, and because it's a place where you can trek in the complete wilderness, silence, not see another person, see another car. It is a phenomenal place. And I don't think anyone came back the same as when they went. And of course, given that you have the added advantage of raising £80,000 for the Fredericks Foundation, I would recommend it to anyone.